Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Somebody Said TV, where somebody said it, so we talk about it live and with you. Somebody said that y'all actually here today. Anyway,
No shade.
Hi.
I am your moderator, Kathia Devon, career coach, girl mom, and today I went on my first field trip as a parent. So I did it was fun. I didn't hate it. I don't know if I'm doing it again, but well, I'm definitely doing it again. I don't know if it would be a regular thing, but that was a first for me. And also today is my Friday, so let's turn up. Jena.
Hi, guys. I'm Jena. I am also known as the influencer, Overdressed RVA on Instagram, creative director for Her Collective, having like a charade moment, but like in real life, joggers. So sweatsuits are up on the website and boots. So shop SideCollective.com. Boy mom actually was at my son's school today to paint a pumpkin with the class, and third graders and rainbow sprinkles don't mix. So, yeah, I'm ready to get into it with this wine.
Listen, I don't have any kids to visit them or be with them today, but it is, I survived the day. I will say that. I'm Corey. I'm the commentator of the show. And as I always say every episode, the views and opinions expressed tonight are solely our own and do not express the views or opinions of our employers. Okay? All right.
Thank you. I always appreciate you reminding them of that, Corey. I appreciate
That also means don't tell our employers what we say. Thank you.
What up, y'all? I'm Shalena, licensed psychologist by day. So sometimes they call me Dr. Herb, but I'm always your favorite Philly Joan by night in these streets, and I'm ready to get into it.
Can I address something really quickly? I am not in the bathroom, just in case the people are wondering. Like,
why are you about to address something with me? I'm like, huh?
No, sorry. I just wanted to put that out there in case people were wondering. You get your best sound sometimes in close spaces. So I'm in my closet, literally, not figuratively, as we say. But I just wanted to put that out there that I'm not in the bathroom. Thank you.
All right. It looks like our family, like they came back tonight.
Yes.
Hey, Ray. Prit in the building. Maddie.
It has been a day. Well, all right. Somebody said, let's get into it. We're going to go ahead and get into our topics for the day. So y'all know when Somebody Said TV first started, it was heavy on the Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on. So for our first serious topic here, we all know the Ahmaud Aubrey case is in motion. And I know our political commentator had a few things that he wanted to share with us tonight. Go on, Corey Boone.
Yeah, it's funny that it just kind of comes full circle. But I did want to share, obviously we have been, we were very much so highlighting the things that were happening real time in 2020. And so we just wanted to come full circle to say that the Ahmaud Aubrey case, meaning the case against the three white vigilantes who, alleged vigilantes who allegedly killed him, killed Ahmaud Aubrey. That trial has started. It is, I think, day 4. They are actually going through the process of picking jurors, which has been, I understand, a very slow process for them, because you can imagine everyone across the nation has heard about this incident, seen the video. And in fact, I was reading something today and it reminded me of the video of them chasing him down, and just that image just came back, and it was just really just off-putting. It was kind of frightening a little bit to remember that so vividly. So just to say that trial is going on. We do hope for justice. We do know that the George Floyd case did happen in Minneapolis, which we can imagine is a lot more progressive than Glenn County, Georgia. So we are certainly wishing and hoping and sending our prayers to Georgia and all those folks out there, because we really do hope that the case goes well. I mean, there are already talks about some of the issues that may lead to possible mistrial, because how can you find a really good 16 panel of jurors who have not heard about this case? So it's just, conferences are already happening, but we do send our thoughts and prayers, of course, to the Aubrey family, the friends and family of Ahmaud, and certainly just want to lift up thoughts that hopefully this trial does provide justice for Ahmaud. So just wanted to give that full circle moment and give an update there.
Well,
Thanks, Corey.
that's such a good point about Georgia being so different. And though we had victory in the George Floyd case, that, you know, it may be different, but I'm remaining hopeful that, you know, these cases are turning around and that people are really seeing justice served. So I would just encourage people to remain hopeful. I saw somebody say death penalty. I mean, we really hope that this plays out the way it should. So yeah, I'll be keeping my eye out.
I'm so glad you pinpointed on that, Shalena, and I'll say this and stop talking because I know we're ready to move on to something else. But I will say that you're exactly right, and this is why it's so important to vote. So we know what happened in Kentucky with the Breonna Taylor case, or more so trying to find justice for Breonna Taylor. And unfortunately, we know that was a very, or at the very least, the attorney general in that state was a Republican. And so that came out to be what it is. We understand that he had his hand or gave guidance into the grand jury for that, which meant that no one was going to be found responsible for how this woman who was in her own home was shot and killed. So to your point, Shalena, this is why it's so important. Now, I'll throw out a quick plug that the Virginia election is happening on November 2nd. That means governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, as well as all the delegates. And even for some folks, some different resolutions, like Richmond can actually vote if they're going to have a casino or not. So please, 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 please vote. This is why it matters, because it's getting justice when we're not even voting, or when what is not top of mind is getting justice for when things happen to Black and brown people. So I just wanted to add that plug in there. Thank you, Shalena, for saying that.
Well, thank you, Corey. Somebody said you always seem to educate us.
Oh, well, I look to provide what I can.
Well, in lighter news, somebody said Eve is pregnant. And I know, like, all of the ladies have been super excited for Eve. I don't know if it's because of her age. I don't know all of the background, but Eve is pregnant and everybody is happy for her.
I'm happy for her. I think she has had a personal path that I feel like was kind of nobody's business. Like nobody, like you got just enough to know what was going on with her, but not enough to be in her business. So for it to be really good celebratory news, again, to echo Kathia's point, I don't know her story or her journey or how we got here. I mean, I know how we got here, but
how we all
I know how we all got here. But yeah, I'm happy for her. I think it's beautiful. I've seen I know that I've had like mom talks in preschool with moms, and they're like, have another one before you're at that advanced maternal age. And they say that to you at every appointment because of your advanced maternal age. And it's like discouraging. That was the feedback that I got. So I was like, never mind, I'm good. I'm not gonna have another baby. It's okay. But I don't care what age you are. If you're healthy and you can do it and you have the means to give your child a wonderful life, and you're able to carry a healthy pregnancy, miracles and blessings to you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I love me some Eve. Obviously, she's everybody's second favorite Philly Joan because I'm the first. But we love Eve, right? And I, like Jena said, I don't know much about her desires to have children. I don't know that she's been vocal about that up until this point. And I try to keep up with her through interviews and stories. But yeah, I know for someone like me who doesn't have children yet, who is reaching that age and quite a few years out, closer to Eve's age, but knowing that it's a great possibility I'll be having a child like around that time, like just seeing more and more women embrace that and doing it and being healthy and growing and glowing. I'm just like, yes, Eve, show them how to do it. She looks, somebody said she looks good. Amy J, she looks good. Okay, we love Eve.
Yeah, I think I definitely can appreciate seeing women having children at all of these different ages. And I think that it's good to be very specific about your timing, whether it's things you want to accomplish, whether it's goals that you have, whether it's things about your relationship that you want to get on track. Like, I think that that's a great thing. And there's so much emphasis on like age, but like, I always tell people, especially for people my age and older who do not have a child yet, it's like your first is always your first. So all of this about, I'm going to be tired or I'm not going to have the time, or your first is always going to be your first. It's always going to be like this exciting kind of surreal, unreal kind of thing that happens to you. And there really isn't an age limit on experiencing pregnancy, on experiencing having a child. So congratulations to Eve.
Yeah.
So any of y'all watching her show?
Say what now?
Is everybody watching Eve's show?
I'm actually gonna watch it tonight. I am
actually going to avoid it tonight because okay, so listen, I love all the ladies that are on the show, even the one that I actually do not
I was about to say, do you know the fourth one?
I do not know the fourth one. She's gorgeous and beautiful, and I'm sure very smart, intelligent, and amazing, right?
Right.
But that show's concept, I'm just confused by.
Me too.
I feel like they missed the Empire Stars boat when it was happening.
Oh no, Anthony, don't.
Oh, thank you, Aunt. Okay, well, I'm good. I'm just gonna stick to my Netflix shows that I'm watching, and we'll just do that. Yeah.
Bella said she did too. Let us know what you think. So apparently, Lily, you got competition for #1 Philly John, but
I saw that. I think somebody's trolling.
I mean, but if you are against Jill Scott, you ain't good.
I mean, Jill is everything. So I would say me #1. I would say me #1. Jill and Eve. They're fighting for #2 spot. I'll say that. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
All righty then. Well, if y'all ain't watching Queens, I know all of y'all are watching Insecure, and somebody said this is their final season. Issa Rae is done with us, okay, or at least done with this.
Done with Insecure.
I'm married now.
Because she's still busting out the hits, child. HBO is paying her $1 gazillion to keep making content, so we will see Issa in a different form and fashion. But Insecure, oh my goodness, can y'all remember when y'all first, like when Insecure dropped, like how relevant and relatable it was, and how it was like, this is us. Like, it was just like, I don't know, that was a moment.
Somebody said there's always this small number of people, and I feel like Jena about to be this people that I'm talking about. That for whatever reason does not get into Insecure.
Wait a minute. Roll the tape back. Jena, what?
Why
Jena, I'm questioning our friendship at this point. What?
What?
Of all the craziness you watch, you can't get into Insecure?
It's not that I can't get into it. It's that I haven't gotten to it. And I'm really sorry. And I'm really sorry. I apologize to my Black and brown people because I know how epic it is. I've heard y'all. I hear y'all. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to give it the respect that it deserves. I just haven't yet.
So you're going to binge all 5 seasons. You're going to binge all 5 seasons.
Somebody said you're too busy.
And
you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Fully invested.
Steve Lawrence. Yes, how is that going to play out?
I was just going to say, so tell me this, right? Y'all know Lawrence done got Melon pregnant.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, by now, I feel like the trailer actually gives it away, right? Like I feel like it doesn't give it away.
I haven't seen the trailer that's giving it away.
Me neither, but I'm like, is it Condoleezza?
I really don't think it's Condoleezza. But I think it is
Okay,
Lisa.
Nikki, I just
Lawrence is the
I
same.
think
We
her
do
name- I
love
think her name is
Lawrence
Condola.
Nelson, but
Yes,
he.
St. Lawrence. Who are?
But
Oh, I can't. Okay, I'm gonna meet these people this weekend. That's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Jenna,
Thank you. It's Condola. Thank you, Amy J.
Condola.
Condola.
Our condolences.
Lisa.
No, but really, so y'all think Issa and Lawrence are gonna make it work, or
I don't know if Issa mature enough for that, honestly, to carry it.
So I feel like for the sake of the show, they might. I mean, they always want to put a
the
nice
last
little bow.
season? The last season.
Yeah, I feel like there's they want to just wrap it up. And I think as the fairy tale of that story, they just want to say, hey, loved, worked out, and they were able to all be co-parents and all that good stuff. I mean, Issa made herself maybe even pregnant. So stop calling that girl canola.
Y'all are really
oil
rude. Y'all know that? Canola,
It's gonna keep
Condola,
coming.
Coco Melon,
Do I
condiment,
get
somebody
any
called
credit
her.
for watching Awkward Black Girl on YouTube before Insecure
that does
came
count.
out?
That was the beginning, which is even more sad. Why I don't understand why you're not into Insecure if you watch.
I think that was a very judgy tone. I don't think that should be used against me. I think I should get credit for that.
I'm very confused by this, Jenna. We have to talk offline.
Ooh.
I'm about to say.
Leah for Issa and Lawrence. Maybe the baby is. Oh, now that's a spin. That's a plot twist.
That is a plot.
She did kind of
twist.
disappear for a while and then kept on harassing him. And then it was like, oh, yeah, and I'm pregnant. But you can be involved as much or as little as you want. That might be.
She didn't want a baby at first.
She didn't. Well, she didn't want to be married again. She said she didn't want to be married again. She didn't say anything about having a baby. TSA Bay was hilarious for sure. So I recently re-binged the whole series, like to prepare for season 5. And there were a lot of just like little hidden gems in there that I really appreciated. I did think there was something I was thinking about the Condola storyline. I can't remember what, but that's an interesting twist. What if the baby is not his?
Oh, I forgot Ralph Angel, Kofi.
Oh yes, that was in the previews. Yes, child.
That was in there. That was. So what about Molly and Issa?
Are we still friends?
I thought that they had kind of. I'm so bad. Yeah, Keke Palmer too is going to be in there. I
didn't know
horrible.
Keke.
I thought they kind of.
They were sitting down to talk. They were sitting down to talk at the conclusion of the episode. But
Got it. Okay.
It was it wasn't clear if they like cashed things out. But I mean, I think we're all rooting for them to like work this out. I mean, that was so frustrating that season. They were not like getting along. I was like, I'm over this. Can y'all just make up so we can move on?
Yeah, that's such a good thing you bring up. You're frustrated as a viewer watching.
I was about to say it was good to watch. Yeah. Maybe relatable, but not good.
Not good. And I just want to shout out before we move on the music of Insecure. Like I just love Issa's ear and how intentional she is about choosing like I've learned about so many new R&B artists from the show, and like a good friend of mine has made like playlists for like every season, and I've listened to all, and I'm just like, she got some dope music on this show and has broken a lot of great artists. So that's the other thing I love about this show. Like I think she's just even how intentional she is about like the different parts of LA she highlights and the different Black owned businesses and neighborhoods. It's just a well-written show, just through and through. So
okay, I'm in.
So
well, we can talk about shows that Jena does watch.
Here we are.
And it's like at this point, somebody just said Real Housewives because there's just so much going on. But y'all know Potomac is on right now. So to start with them, Black Twitter done came for Potomac again, and they done
here we go.
Giving some colorism vibes.
Here we go.
So where are we going? How you feeling?
Oh, sip your wine. Get yourself together.
I'm asking Lee.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Jena. No, I want Jena. This her jizz. Like, go ahead.
I mean, okay, so for me, colorism is a little bit of a stretch for this franchise, only because there are people of all different shades on the cast, and it doesn't matter what they look like. Some of them are just a-holes. So like Giselle is she's a chatty Kathy. She's been called the bully of the group. She's a little, Robin snaps. She gets to their breaking point. She snaps, and I'm of course I'm talking about the green-eyed bandits is what they're called. So then I think the focus when it comes to colorism is on Wendy and the labels that they put on her being someone who is more brown, and they're using the word aggressive. I don't think Wendy is aggressive. I think Wendy is argumentative. I think Wendy like Wendy has time. TikTok, Mia, and she always has time. And I don't think that it's fair to say like, and I get the opinion, I get the perspective of it. I just think the wrong word is being used, and I understand that that's a trigger word, and that's a word, that's a label that you don't want to have. So I get it, but I just think that colorism might be a stretch just in this instance.
So can I pull out what they are saying? Because I feel like I might be missing something. So,
yes. I actually have a different go on.
So because are we saying that colorism is at play because the lighter skinned women are portrayed or able to do things differently and not be reprimanded, versus the darker skinned or browner skinned women aren't able to kind of walk in those same areas to do those same things? And not like, what are we saying about?
I think they all get dragged the same. They all get dragged the same.
It has more to do with the actual cast actions than like the viewers or the setup of the show. So when people are talking about the show, giving colorism vibes, they're talking about specifically Giselle, Robin, Ashley as lighter skinned women who every time they get into an argument with some of these women who are of darker hues, calling them, basically reprimanding them, like you said, and attaching these negative adjectives to their actions when they behave exactly the same way. So it's like they can sit up here and they can both be arguing, and then one of them will label they will sit up, they can, I'll go back, I'll talk about the show. So like Wendy and Robin were arguing, and literally Robin is like, she gets upset, she's cussing, she's all, but she ends up calling Wendy aggressive, and then the rest of them play into that narrative. It's also like with Ashley and her being a new mom for the second time, but like last season when Wendy couldn't be a new mom, she already had a kid, but we're still babying Ashley this season. Oh, she's a new mom, she's this and she's that in the third. So it really has more so to do with like their actions versus the opinion of like all of the viewers. Does that make sense?
It does, but I still don't think they're doing it because of colorism.
I think that they are, only because Giselle is, I feel like, and I'm sorry, Bella, I think she said it, is passive aggressive, but in like nature, physicality, the things that Robin does are a lot more, quote, aggressive than most of the women like on the show. Like her actions, her rah, 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 rah. Like sometimes it's funny, but like, girl, you are grabbing your crotch right now. Like, let's be real, but you calling somebody else aggressive. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that because Wendy, I agree with Jena. I don't think that Wendy is aggressive as more she gets defensive. She might be a little more assertive. I think that's being misconstrued as aggression. I think Candace is loud and becomes very physical when she's upset. So that's perceived. I think it's the way they act that is being, I don't think Robin and Giselle is a lot more passive aggressive and kind of takes shots indirectly, but she's not going to get too physical with people. So I think just the way it looks seems more aggressive for Candace and Wendy than it does for Robin and Giselle. I don't think it has anything to do with their skin tone. I think it's the way they fight. Like they just fight differently.
Well, let me throw this out there. Just food for thought. Do y'all?
I'm sorry. Robin and Giselle literally pulled up on Ashley at her place of business. And no one called them aggressive.
Okay, very good point. Food for thought, though. Is it possible that people like Candace and Wendy and these people who are labeled as aggressive don't do that because they know what it's like to put labels on people in those moments and what that can do.
Well, the thing is that I feel like Wendy gets the word more. I do. I feel like it comes up for Wendy a lot more. And unfortunately, I feel that she had to kind of tone down her actions on the show for people to see it. So after they had that reasonably shady party and they was all sitting at the house, and Wendy has been paying these girls dust since that episode, and they can't take it. Like you're literally misusing the word. Like you're sitting up here, you keep trying to call out her bad behavior, and she's paying you dust. And you're still trying to reprimand her, which again, that's the part that is just like, you feel okay doing this, but yet Ashley starts an argument at dinner and you don't say she's aggressive. You know what I'm saying? You don't say that she's out of line. Like that's the difference. And I think that's why we all looking at them like, come on. And the thing is with Potomac, like, I pretty much like all of the cats except for Ashley.
Blech.
And then, you know, me would be lying.
Sorry.
I pretty much like all of the cast, and it's unfortunate, but I hate seeing this thing play out with them because it keeps coming up that they want to reprimand these other women on the show, and they push this narrative like Wendy said before on the reunion last season. She said to Ashley, you use these words like aggressive that are trigger words when it comes to Black women and when it comes to Black women and their behavior, and it's not cool, especially as a Black woman. It's like, if me and you are talking and you know how we talk or whatever, and then for me to stop the conversation to say that you're being aggressive, like, it's not cool.
I don't surround myself with people that I would use that word in general. Just I don't. It's not a word that I use in general. And I do think it is said with intent, and I can acknowledge that as far as the show goes. But Ashley is always gaslighting. Is that the word from last episode?
That was the word.
Is that it? That's the right one. That's what she does.
Gaslighting.
It's gaslighting, and then she likes to match. Okay. And blows everything up. But she's just, and then like at some point that was described as good for TV in some conversation somewhere because she is instigating and triggering people, and that's good for TV. So we can't have it both ways. You can't say that you got a really good show and a really good cast and really good banter and interactions and drama and stuff that keeps you engaged, and then say, well, you can't do this and you can't do that, because that's what keeps you engaged. I'm not going to stop watching it because they were aggressive. We're aggressive.
No, and to your point, they're all making a show.
Yeah.
And they all know that they're making a show.
For sure.
To be very clear. So, I mean.
And to that point.
Somebody say Ashley like she the last mother on earth.
She the first and last to ever have a child.
Oh, Lord.
No, I think we just got to be careful. I think that what I love about Potomac, and what I've always said about Potomac from the beginning, is that I felt they were intellectually shady. I just feel like this cast just brings a different energy to the franchise. I love just seeing just like very confident, intelligent Black women just making their place in the world. And I just don't want us to let people kind of like divide them. Like, I mean, like, how we gonna say they, like, I feel like they all be bigging up each other, and when they good, and they go at it just like any other franchise. So why we gonna say, oh, now it's the lights against the browner women and all that? Like, I don't know. I feel a way about that, and I feel like it's taken away from like what they have built collectively, and I think what they represent, like the good that they represent.
Yeah, but colorism is also a triggering word.
But right. They also have a personal responsibility as far as how they carry the show if you do not want it to look like that. And you can't get uncomfortable with the word colorism and having a conversation about it. One, if you know that it's not true. Like, the worst thing that you can do is sit up here and act like colorism does not exist. So when it's brought to the table, they at least have to recognize it and look at their own actions if they do want to showcase a different type of camaraderie or whatever it is that they're doing on the show. Oh, somebody wants to know what we think about Escala.
I like her.
Escala a little shady though, y'all. She be stirring the pot.
I know we was at the Rose Wine Festival at the same time, and I missed you. I'm really sorry, but girl, let's connect. I like her a lot. I like her. I like
I
her
like
husband.
her.
The kids
I
are
think she's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
I like her.
I think she's gorgeous, but I think she'd be stirring the pot. I think she'd be a little shady too. I think she'd be
reasonably shady.
reasonably shady.
It's reasonable.
But not
I like
aggressive.
her, and I like her
But not aggressive.
reunion look.
What'd you
So
say,
reunion
Jenna?
looks came out last week from Potomac, and I really loved her reunion look.
Yeah, I like her style in general.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
time.
she did have the best. She did have the best look from what I remember. We can come back to this, because we did this before.
We have.
Yeah, we could come back to this, but from what I remember, I liked her dress the most.
Yeah, I like her. I think she should get whatever they hold in the opening credits.
I don't know.
They
Glass
hold
of champagne,
champagne
I think
glasses,
it is.
I think.
Oh,
I think it's champagne.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, she's a good time, and I love how she was like, "This is how I got to go into your house. I'll come back."
Yes, to go get Chris. Dre.
I'm not doing this. I like her. I'm here for her.
Well, Jenna, was there any other Housewives news that you wanted to share with us?
I do have a little bit of tea to go with my wine. So, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion are airing now, and there are talks that there is a housewife being considered for the chopping block because of her boring storyline.
Well, it ain't Erica.
Absolutely not. She might get fired for other reasons. But it is our least favorite housewife of all time.
Dorito!
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. Listen.
I don't know. None of these older white
God,
women
let's
with
have the
basic
babies and
surgery.
fools. We did it. We prayed on it and it happened.
Now we
Hopefully.
prayed on it.
So
I wish I knew who y'all were talking about. They all look like older white women with too much.
So
basic
Dorit
surgery.
made a very grave mistake of raising her voice and screaming at Garcelle at the reunion. And at that point, she was dragged on social media to a point where Adrienne Bailon was like, "Oh no, you don't yell at Garcelle. Absolutely not." Because they're on the real together. And it just kind of snowballed into this thing. And then this week I was, minding my business, my Real Housewives business. And I come across some information that says that Dorit is on the chopping block.
Wait, so Shalena, you didn't know Garcelle was on the Real? Oh, okay.
She replaced Tamara. She replaced Tamara Mowry.
I mean, I don't like the Real either, but dang, I at least seen her pooching around with him.
They have had so many hosts to come in and come out.
I was going to say they had a lot of people kind of sitting in temporarily, so I didn't know they
Yeah.
put someone in permanently. No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's permanent. I don't think anybody on the Real is permanent, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, that's a point.
And Atlanta is shooting now, and as far as we can tell, Drew Sidora is back.
And Portia's gone. I have no reason to watch Housewives of Atlanta.
Portia's gone, Cynthia's gone,
I don't
and
know
you're
if I can
still
do it,
there. So
okay,
yeah,
I'm looking at Dorit.
I'm still up in the air as to whether or not I'm going to watch this season. I'm going to give it a chance because it's my favorite franchise, but it could easily be replaced by Potomac at this point.
Any talks of any new people they're adding, Jenna, to Atlanta?
I got this one.
Okay.
So, track star Sonia Richards-Ross, that's the rumor. And she did recently move to Atlanta. She's been commentating for different sports and I think maybe the Olympics too. But that's what I heard on the curb.
When you say a track star, my mind went to somebody completely different.
Like
she's a runner, she's a track star.
Corey, now I need to know who, Corey.
I thought
I was wondering why Corey was like this.
And I was like, what? I don't know why I thought you was gonna say Shakira.
You were not, no.
I really did. I was like, wait, Shakira is not gonna be on this show. Wasn't that her name? Shakira? Please tell me that was her name.
Yeah, I don't think she's lived enough life to be a real.
I
was just like, what? And it brought back all the memes of Shakari. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah,
let's leave it right there.
We're just gonna leave that right there.
We're gonna stick it.
So apparently, track star is a triggering word for Corey.
Well, speaking of triggering words, child, I guess we'll go ahead and get into this Darius, McCrary, and Sidney Starr business. Because listen. First of all, I really don't even understand what's happening right now.
We all don't.
and honestly, there's some like comedy involved in all of this, but basically, from what I understand, Sidney Starr said that they were dating. Darius McCrary denied it.
Okay.
Am I getting this wrong?
I didn't know she said that they were dating.
Y'all
But go
want to
ahead.
explain who Darius and Sidney are for those who
Darius
might
is
not be
Eddie
familiar?
Winslow.
Eddie Winslow from here on out.
From Family Matters.
Period.
Sidney Starr is the
Sorry.
young lady from Love and Hip Hop New York who like to buck at people. Like they would be talking
all
to her,
of
she would
them.
be like I don't know.
But she has described herself as controversial. So
Okay.
I mean, and she does. I mean, to Jenna's point, she literally and figuratively does a lot. So she knows that she is controversial. But go ahead, Kathia.
No, because I was gonna say, you know, I think some of what happened
Jenna, I'm sorry.
their relationship or whatever, like there has been a call of whether or not this is like transphobia. But the other part of it kind of feels like y'all know how like unfortunately people be in relationships with people but the other person don't know it.
Yeah.
So it was giving some of that too.
So for me, I've kind of been keeping up with it just for entertainment purposes. Not to say that their life is my entertainment, but it is this week. So Sydney's caption when she posted it was like, "We're both built different," and so that to me insinuated that they were in it, and it was followed by a lot of very nice sentiments and things like that. It seemed like they were at a photo shoot of some sort. There were clips that were going around about with them kissing. It looked very mutually intimate. It looked consensual.
Kissing in the mouth?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was very passionate. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And then I saw Harriet Winslow eat an oxtail saying that it wasn't true.
Oxtails.
I didn't understand where Harriet Winslow came from.
What is her real name, y'all? What is
Joe? Oh, Joe Mary something.
Right. Harriet Winslow.
So I think we need to be clear about something. A couple of things. The reason why people are trying to the reason why the kissing in the mouth was controversial is because he says that he's engaged. And so he says that his fiance will have a different take, that they are just friends. But so I think the initial images that came out showed the two of them together. I hate that outfit that he had, that burgundy and gold or what. I did not like that. Anyway, so they had a photo of them together. And that was random. And so Sidney had posted that, you know, this is a cisgender heterosexual male who is friends with a trans woman, and like kind of showed that out. I imagine that there may have been some controversy just because of the fact that there is a black man who is well known, who is associated with a trans woman, and we need to pause and actually put a pin there about that, because that is transphobia that's showing up, and about all the interest and the gawk around it. But what I think has progressed is that people are like, wait, you seem a little friendly in these photos, and then more images start to come out, and like they're kissing and they're touching and they're grinding, and it's like, so I think that there is a part of this, like, oh, this is a little extra. I did just want to mention one thing. So when we talk about, I guess I want to just set the level straight on this piece. So when we talk about trans women, yes, trans women are trans women. I have seen a couple of writings about how it was portrayed in the media, about like saying that she was male to female and like all these other things. I think what we have to do is remember that these are people, that we do not need to bring up their past life. So this is why we don't need to talk about if they are pre-op or post-op or whatever. This is a woman. If that's her pronouns that she chooses,
she identifies.
She is standing out as a woman, and this is how we're going to look at her and keep it moving forward. We don't have to continue to like put all these different qualifiers to it when we talk about women. But I will say this: Darius McCrary has always had like a weird something going on with different people at different times. So I wouldn't put it past him that he's just messy, period. Like, I think
Yes,
that's
very.
what he got going on.
I don't want to call that girl that.
and I think Sidney Starr.
Oh, I know who you talk about the book.
Yes.
Yes. What's
But
her
what's
real name, y'all?
Corinne Stevens.
Corinne Stephens. Yes.
Steffens. I'm all messing up the names today.
I surely did read that book.
Who
He was with her.
has
Messy.
not
He
read
just
at
messy.
least the
That's
back?
what I think everybody read that book.
I surely did.
Okay.
Pictures.
But the other thing that I saw about Darius was, and Corey, you have excellent points. But to add on to that point, he is engaged. Somebody mentioned that, correct? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So I saw a video clip of them on a radio show, but they were in like a room of people. And the radio host asked them, when was the last time y'all kissed? And so Darius and his fiance, and then somehow, some way, the fiance ended up kissing 7 people in that room.
I'm so confused.
What's happening?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I am
Like,
incredibly lost.
I don't even
on
know.
Darius and all the shenanigans he has going on. I'm just going to
So
say that.
if nothing else, I'm gonna tell you, Sidney, honey, run, don't walk away.
Okay? Yeah, that's not somebody.
That's the point. That's the point.
Run away, baby. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not. It's not.
So wait a minute. Sidney is aware that he's engaged, though, even though Sidney is saying that they are dating. Like, his engagement is not a secret. He didn't just pop out of nowhere like, "Hey, I have a fiance," right? Okay.
Yeah, they said something about on Funky Dineva. They said it had to do with it was acting, maybe a movie, but
okay.
So that was the scheme that Todd set up.
Art is imitating life, honey, because that was not scripted.
Basically, Jay.
What I saw, it didn't look good either.
Well, I'm really upset because Channing wanted to be Urkel for Halloween this year, and now he's got to worry about Eddie Winslow and Lee Finnegan.
He's got to worry about it.
So is he still going to be Urkel or no?
Oh, yeah. No, I've got those ugly shoes. He's going to be Urkel.
I know that's right. Wait, I thought he wore Chucks.
Don't tell me that.
I don't know. I might be completely wrong. In my head, Urkel
no, I'm imagining
Chucks,
black and white Chucks. Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. So I don't.
He's been binge watching it. Like, my 9-year-old is literally binge watching Family Matters. I will get on Insecure, don't worry. But I will report back on the shoes.
I just love his appreciation for our childhood favorite stuff. Like, so cool. I love it.
Yes. But I did want to just quickly throw out there, because it's kind of a connected topic. I don't want to.
Out there.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't want to get into a conversation about what Dave Chappelle said and if it was right or wrong, because what I don't feel like I'm going to change anybody's mind about that here. And I also don't feel like we should all have to feel like we have to think of the same things, because there are some LGBTQ folks who feel like what he said is fine. I do think that there are some distinctions in what Dave Chappelle says and what he really means. So, like, for instance, he'll say things in regards to white LGBTQ people, but just say LGBTQ and not, or maybe the emphasis sometimes is not the fact that it is about the white LGBTQ community. And I will say, as a Black LGBTQ member, we do know that white people in any marginalized community always show up and take care of themselves first. Just period. Historically, whatever, however you want to qualify that. Like, we just know that happens. So what that means is we just have to be mindful of how we are having conversations around this and really trying to understand one another and understand that people can be hurt by the words that people are saying, even if they are jokes. Yep. And that sometimes violence is, people are seen as non-human, subhuman, or dehumanized because of jokes and ostracization, and that therefore means that violence can happen to them easily, and the systems that are in place to take care of us will not take care of them also. Meaning you could have a whole rally to protest against Black men being shot and killed by police. And in that same protest, the black women, the black trans women who were killed in 2020 are completely forgotten. And there are black people who are completely forgetting about the fact that there are black trans people who need to be protected. Just saying that we just need to be mindful of how we talk about these things and try to understand one another when we're having conversations. Just wanted to put that out there.
No, and honestly, it's not even just the Dave Chappelle thing, because I know a lot of people talk about like this idea of being too sensitive when it comes to comedy. And I do think that people forget that even though you might be making a joke, if it pushes a certain narrative, it can feed to acts of violence or acts of hate or acts of discrimination. So it's not just about the joke. Sometimes it's about what narrative it feeds into. And it applies to other things. Cause I remember like this one comedian, Corey Holcomb, like he does this abortion joke. And it's just kind of like it's like it's not funny. Or even I don't know if y'all remember a while ago, like Mike Epps said something like he said something like he had his ugly kids with his first wife, and then like he's remarried, and this is when he had his cute kids. It's like it's not funny, and especially if you're his wives at that time, they look very different. And him coming into money and the type of women that he might be dating now. And it's just kind of like when it feeds into these ill narratives, like if
it does damage.
Yeah, it does damage. If people have a problem with it, people have a problem with it.
Just use your platform responsibly, if nothing else. As I will say this, I watched the Dave Chappelle special. Like I started to watch it. I was listening to just watching it like a normal person. I didn't finish it. I just didn't finish it. I have no interest in finishing it. And that was my take on it. So I appreciate everything that you're saying, Corey. And I think that it's important to just be reminded to be mindful of your platform. And, we have one here. So, I think we all are conscious of the things that we say and things that we talk about and things that we put out there. And also in the days of the internet, like nothing goes away. Once you say it, once you put it out there, you can't take it back. So I definitely appreciate that. And I think that it's important to be aware and to know what you care about and be supportive and advocate for those things for sure.
And I want to just kind of just throw out here. So I do see some of the comments about, the fact that they are comedians and they're supposed to be funny. And I completely get that. Right. So like, you say things that may push buttons a little bit to be funny. I think that again, though, we just have to be mindful that these jokes are being said they're being said on the platform to multiple millions of people, and that those words could be interpreted that this person is not a human, therefore I can treat them and bully them any kind of way that I want to. And I know sometimes that seems like a hard connection because you're like, this person is just jokes. And
you're not necessarily like that, but you have to think about the reality too, or even dealing with teenagers and
impressionable minds.
Yes, and the trauma of high school, if you aren't deemed normal or if you're deemed different in some type of way, and seeing these kind of images or hearing these different things, how that ends up being jokes in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? That makes children like uncomfortable.
And I just want to go ahead, Jena.
Go ahead, Corey. No, go ahead.
I'll quickly just say I just want to pull out the fact that like had this been a different person, I just sometimes wish that we would think about things in a way of like, well, what if this is a white person saying something about black people? Like, I just wonder, because I think we all kind of understand that certain jokes about black people just is racism and just needs to stop, right? Yeah. So we immediately get that. But when it comes to other communities, I think sometimes we have a little some difficulty in trying to relate to that. So I just wonder, I sometimes just wish to be like, try to see like, oh, like if this was flipped around in some kind of way, how would this be? How would I view this? How would I take this kind of thing? Go ahead. Go ahead, Jena.
No, I get it. And I just wanted to say this, like Dave Chappelle, to be clear, this is nothing new for him. Like he has been pushing the envelope on real life issues and real life events. Like I know the Piss on You song. It is not okay. That's not funny. Like, that is a reference to R. Kelly urinating on a child. It's not funny. Like, but I know the song. It's and I say that to say, like, this is nothing new for him. This is his wheelhouse, I guess, is the word. He controversial entertainment is the best way I can describe it. But you definitely have to draw the line where it becomes influential to a point of where people are getting hurt.
Doing damage.
And I think that we said the same thing about a former president, so it's not that far-fetched to be aware of those things.
Yeah, and I just want to just call out the fact that Netflix actually fired a Black trans person who was trying to do a protest because that person felt like they were not having it. They were not trying to have the place where they worked to be okay with the content that was coming out, and so this person was planning a protest, and Netflix was like, "You out of here." So it just goes to show that we just have to still be mindful. We just have to. I think I'll just repeat myself. We just have to be mindful. We just have to be mindful that not everything is for everybody, that some people are impressionable, that sometimes words actually do hurt and matter, that people can take words and feel emboldened to then therefore treat other human beings a different kind of way. So just have to be mindful.
Yeah.
I'm confused how this freedom of speech thing with Netflix is not going both ways. They can air the show, but you can't talk about it. Because that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't watch Dave Chappelle. I never have. Corey has always been a fan. I remember back in the day, but I've never
of the Dave Chappelle show. I think we should be clear.
Yeah, of the Dave Chappelle show. Like I said, I've never followed Dave Chappelle, so my opinions don't specifically have to do with that episode, with that show. But I do think that it's interesting that, like I said, they can air it and it has all of this controversy, and if somebody opposes, they get fired. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a two-way street.
Most corporations, it really isn't.
All right. But don't be quiet. Don't let that discourage you. Keep using your voice. It matters. It's heard.
Yeah.
On every level.
And just
too. I got to give it to everybody.
Just to close this out, I will say that. Oh, actually, so this is where I will be honest. I didn't know all the particulars. I just knew that this person, I think their pronouns are they, them. They wanted to protest it, but I did not know that they leaked data. So now, if they leak some data,
that's grounds of termination.
I mean,
that's immediate grounds of termination.
Yeah. So, but
I know that.
Find a bad way to address these issues because the same things are being said on both sides. So, Jay, Eddie Winslow was just called weird. I think we need to find a better way to address these issues because the same things are being said on both sides, and it's being said, and it being sides is the first problem. So I think that goes back to like, well, why are we treating? I think sometimes, okay, so let's just call the thing out, right? So like, and I'm promise I'm going to stop talking about this subject right after I say this. Some of us in the community looked at this story and were already like making jokes and having comments about it because Sidney was trans. And so for a Black man to be able to openly be okay, cool with, rock with a trans woman is shocking to folks. And unfortunately, you do have people who fall into homophobia, transphobia, patriarchy, and sexism, and just went with that. And a lot of times, unfortunately, that is Black men and Black women who say that black straight men can't hang out with trans women and that they're gay or weird or whatever. So we do know that happens.
There's a level of shame there.
It was a level of shame for sure. And so if we just all did our own work to just take some of that stuff out, we will all be in a better place. Because unfortunately, going back a little bit to the colorism conversation, we all are, because of the country that we grew up in and because of how we were indoctrinated, we are all unpacking colorism, homophobia, fat phobia, or excuse me, anti-fatness, racism. We are all unpacking that in and of ourselves because we were all taught that. So it's not foreign that probably a lot of us on this call or on this show heard, don't be outside too long because you're gonna get dark. And the things that we understand about that. And so it's not necessarily our parents' fault. It's just the white supremacy that they were taught, the assimilation, the respectability politics that they were taught, that we were then therefore taught. So I think my point is we all just got to unpack and take some of that stuff out of our own our understandings and psyche, and do a better job of trying to be a little bit more open-minded. There was another point I was going to make about that, but I'm just going to let that be what that was.
I was going to say, because Raven has said something about some of these things are inherent. And it's like you said, doing your own work. Like when I think about how I thought about parenting because of what I was taught, I had no idea. Mm-hmm. Like, or I thought that person was crazy. Like the me who thought about what parenting looked like 10 years ago. Well, I guess I'm not, that old. So yeah, 10 years ago, it's like foreign to me. It's absolutely foreign to me.
Yeah.
That I had these different ideas about how you're supposed to discipline a child and this rah about respect and da. But those things are taught and they're like inherent. And you do have to work through it, and you get to a place where it's just like woosah, like humanity, love is love. Like
this is the point I was going to make. Shocking point. Black men are having relationships, sexual, romantic, and all otherwise, with trans women. I'm just going to put that out there. Let's just be honest about that. Yeah. There are Black men who you may know who are having sexual and romantic relationships with trans women. And so I think that I just wanted to that's what I wanted to call out. It's like we look at the Eddie Winslow and Sidney Starr and want to laugh at it, but secretly on the inside, we're DMing these beautiful, amazing trans women through WhatsApp and trying to get a hookup. Like, let's just be honest about the situation. So I said I was going to stop talking. I promise I'm going to shut my mouth from now, but I just...
All right, I'm going to help you.
Help me out, please.
Battle of the Browns. Wait a minute. Okay, so we have another triple header. And I'll just say this: the queen is in the building, so I feel like that always changes the dynamic of.
Do I know everybody? Oh my God. Okay,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure that I know everybody.
I know 2 or 3.
I know 2 out of 3.
Who was the
2 and a possible? 2 and a possible.
Bored.
So let's see here.
Who is the young lady that's not going to win?
My guesses are Summer Walker or oh my goodness, why am I blanking on from Love and Hip Hop New York?
Oh,
Mendice's wife. Yandy. I was about to say Yandy.
Tell y'all who these people are. We don't have all night.
Okay. Start with her. Start with the person we don't know.
So we have Beyonce. I'm just going left to right for what I see. We have Beyonce. We have Lala, and then we have this Jada girl. I really don't know who she is.
Jada Waiter?
I don't know.
Little baby girlfriend?
Yeah, she's all over the internet. I don't know.
That's little baby June. Jada Waiter. I know her.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, girl.
Thank you.
I love the people who are calling out Doja Cat. We need to have a Doja Cat.
Doja Cat.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to this woman. I'm so sorry. I'm never gonna live it down. I'm so sorry.
The ladies have on Saint Laurent. Well, I think we say Saint Laurent. But Jena, go ahead and describe these fits.
Okay, so Beyonce has been killing the internet lately with her Instagram post with no captions like a 40-year-old woman does. And I live and I love it. It is an off-the-shoulder black, I would say bodysuit, probably. Nope, not Lala got hers cropped. Anyway, off the shoulder black top with 3/4 sleeves and feathers on the ends of the sleeves with some biker shorts. That is the basis of the look. Beyonce is rocking a high ponytail and cascade earrings and some pumps with an ankle strap. Lala has opted to crop the top, not so much décolleté, a little bit more on the shoulders, but also a high pony, which is a good time. And similar shoes, but not as much bling on them. And Miss Jada has decided to go ahead and accessorize hers with a nice lob, a good lined lip, a necklace, and a jeweled bag, watch, and jeweled pumps that are actually similar. These looks are very similar, so they understood the assignment. They just remixed it.
Did. All right, so co-host, help us out. Go ahead and put who you got in the chat. And Jena, who you
Come on now, y'all. My vote is always going to be for Beyonce, Giselle, Knowles, Carter. Yes. But I mean, Lala's a close second.
Okay.
I wish B was standing up so I could
Me
get a full
too.
effect, because La's
Shalena.
just giving pose. She's giving energy.
Good makeup.
I like the
It
crop
looks good.
look on her. So my vote is for. Sorry, I don't know if it was my turn yet, but I think B is B. But I wish she was standing up, and I like La.
Yeah, where they going?
All right.
You know that's my question.
Where they going,
All
Corey?
right. Well, Beyonce is like just still in her makeup room. So where she was going after that, I'm not sure. But she has posted this picture of basically her in front of a mirror 6 or 7 times. Lala is outside of somebody's apartment, and Miss Jada baby, I don't know. I'm sorry, Corey Boone.
She is definitely giving Summer Walker, but I was not going to say the wrong name twice in one season.
I knew it was a guess. That's why I said my guess. I was not confident.
So I'm actually going to give it to Miss Jada, and the reason why I like her pose, I like how she did it. I was trying to see if she had like a belt or like some type of thing in the middle, like not the Beyonce belt, but like some type of like strap or something. I couldn't tell, but I like how she styled it. I don't know where she's going. It's giving me lobby of some hotel. But anyway, I hate the purse. So, or the clutch. So whatever that is. Because it's giving me grandma like second service vibes, and I feel like that's not what she needs to do.
Yes, you better serve lunch in the fellowship hall.
What? Okay.
I cannot with y'all.
Mints are all in that purse, okay? But yeah, I give it to Jada minus the purse.
Okay. Well, Corey, my vote is actually for Jada too. I do enjoy her jewelry, and I like it simple without any type of. I don't think that it necessarily needed a belt with the other accessories going on, and yeah, I don't think that it needed to be cropped. So that is my vote, and let's see here. I feel like the co-host, our friends.
Doja, wait a minute. We got some votes for Doja.
Doja is always going to have a vote.
You know what? At this point, you're welcome.
I'm just glad that my little mishap has died because Doja is covered.
I'm not sorry anymore. I'm officially not sorry no more.
Y'all will get somebody else wrong that we could talk about.
Who else? Are there any other votes? I saw one B.
No, it looks like Lala.
Ah.
That's what the co-host went with. So, Shalena and the co-host, y'all got that one. Well. Let me tell y'all, Corey Boone has been warming up for this all day. It is time for the Somebody Loves You. Y'all know we believe in, coaching over canceling. So go on before we get into this one. Give us some vocals by the Corey.
It's like waiting for you to say something else. Somebody loves you, baby. Oh, somebody loves you, baby. And you know who it is. Somebody loves you, baby.
I always want just one more. Whoa.
Oh, you.
Just
It
one more. Whoa.
happened. No, I ain't going to do that.
Listen, this show must have felt good to you because somebody said that you wasn't gonna be doing that again for a while. But anyway, who we have up today is Howard University administration, to be clear, because the students are fine. And I know that y'all have seen all over Instagram. We have our HU students out here. They are sleeping outside. They have taken over Blackburn. And it is absolutely a mess at Howard University during homecoming weekend.
Appalling. The alumni should be appalled.
Oh, are you?
Hello. This week I'm repping Spelman this week. Okay, let's leave that. But no, homecoming is about alum coming back and their support. So I'm saying for this to go down homecoming week, everybody should be up in arms. This is a disgrace.
I don't care what day on the calendar it is. Those living conditions are not okay.
Period.
No, they've been receiving a lot of support from alumni. But I do think that it brings on this really big topic about student housing in academia and the amount of money that it costs to go to these different schools, and for a lot of students to be living in these different kinds of conditions, or poor living conditions, I should say. And what's most frustrating is that the students aren't asking for a lot. Like, they're asking for a housing plan. They want, they want their representation back when it comes to the board, and literally want to have a town hall. Like, this is very, very basic. And I feel like, you have this older generation that's kind of giving, like, you should just be happy to be here. It's pulling hierarchy. Like, we don't have to explain ourselves to you, that kind of parenting thing. Mm-hmm. And the way that Howard alumni represents the university across the world, for you to not even be able to sit here and have a discussion with your students, it's a disgrace. It is. It's embarrassing. It didn't even have to get this far. And honestly, it's just at a point where it's like, talk to these students. They are
listen.
They want to be here. Have a conversation. Unlock these buildings. Like, let's stop playing this. College is way too expensive for this nonsense.
What do we say? $45,000 a year for tuition and room and board at Howard. 45,000. You're going into $180,000 of debt for a bachelor's degree,
right?
And you don't have a comfortable place to sleep and study. Yeah, no.
And I want to highlight what Raina just said. Yes, that generation at Howard administration is always concerned about the tone and tenor, and not addressing the issue at hand. So what she's referencing is the president received, I think it's still the same president, received some emails from some students who were upset about some conditions. This is like a couple of years ago. And his response was, I do not appreciate, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, I do not appreciate the tone and tenor of your message. And did not address the issue that the student was trying to bring up.
I don't have to answer you because I didn't like the way you talked to me.
Basically.
You know how Black folks are about their respect. You talking to your elders. Talking to your elders.
Yeah, I have a new mantra every January 1st of every year. One year was definitely you get what you give. And I might have to bring that one back.
Because
get what you give in 2018, 27. I don't know. Yeah. It was recent.
But we talked about this a little bit in terms of like, there's something about, and I can only speak from the HBCU experience. When I was at a PWI, I didn't live on campus and it was a totally different campus, but there's almost like this attempt to kind of humble you by these like meager living conditions. I'm like, why is it that we have to have the roughest dorms and no air? And there has to be this fight to get just basic necessities and luxuries for something I'm paying for. That's like, I just don't understand like why that is the case in many HBCUs. And I can say, because I'm a product of 2 of them. So I can speak, and I've been to many of them. And they're always located in dangerous neighborhoods for a lot of these campuses. A lot of the buildings have not been updated for years. What message are we sending to our students if we're not even making their living conditions appropriate and adequate?
I'm so confused though, because there's like so many celebrities and people of affluence who are donating to these universities.
Well, and that's the part too. So Howard they just got a substantial donation.
Okay.
So there are questions about how is this money
where's the money residing?
We donate to different schools. I mean, different schools within the university. Like, we understand that, but we want to see it. You want to see these dollars. If Amazon gave $10 million to you,
where's it at?
We want to see it.
Right.
Let me see it.
Yeah, no, I my husband went to a PWI, and like it is a thing. Like, y'all know, my college experience was a little shortened, but anyway, it's a thing about like the quality of campus. Like, that's part of your choosing of your post-secondary education. Like, and there's like nationally award-winning like cafeterias and room and board and campuses and like amenities and things like that. And I like, how are we missing the mark as a prestigious private college?
The Mecca, if you will.
I'd love to, but I'm not sleeping there.
And I'll just put a little plug in for the #1 HBCU in the country. Spelman College does use their alumni dollars very wisely. We continue to build up our buildings, have state-of-the-art facilities and dorms. So there are some HBCUs getting it right. I just wanted to put that out there.
Come on.
You better know your school.
I want to quickly highlight what T. Jones said a couple of minutes ago. Howard and Morehouse get 80% the money that goes to HBCUs. LOL. They should be able to fix the dorms. So in addition to that comment, because I do think that is something that is unfortunate, is that a lot of the money that goes to HBCUs only goes to like 4 or 5 of them, right? And so there are so many HBCUs across the country that deserve some good money. But even when you are the one that are receiving all this money, where is it going to? And I want to call out administration salary, because
they did just hire Felicia Rashad.
They sure did, honey.
I don't even feel like getting into that tonight.
We can go all night. We're already over time.
Nikki Giovanni has been perfectly fine at the PWI since then. I haven't heard her complain at all.
So remember the guy who allegedly stole some money from Howard?
Yeah.
It makes you feel like the administration is getting theirs, so he just got his while he could. Like, it just makes you feel that way, because it's like the money has to be going somewhere.
Oh, the student.
Yeah, the student. Yeah, it's
the
just student
like worker. Yeah.
And college is expensive. College is expensive these days. It just really is.
If the question is where's the money going, and the answer is it's going to scholarships and supporting low income, students who are talented and have potential so that they can come to the school. So I would rather have 1,000 kids full ride than to worry about them having AC and nice and double pillow top mattresses. Which do you want?
But you got to think about it too, because that number matters. Because if 1,000 only represents 5% of the students, and the rest of us are here on financial aid, i.e., me, then like it's a problem. It's even more so because we have to pay that back. Like, we're still
with interest, a lot of it.
We're still paying for these experiences. So I don't think that's the answer. Unless you're going to specifically give out more money in scholarships to where we can talk about numbers to where it makes sense. But
yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. I haven't done enough research about it to know what the answer to that question is. Where does the money go? Where does the money reside? I don't know the answer to that question, but I just wanted to pose it to our co-hosts and to y'all. What if it was going to something that was beneficial to one person of color who needed that opportunity?
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's what people will often say about funding, period, for these different organizations, or even like Biden and the student loans. It's like, okay, 5 people benefited, from loan forgiveness. And it's like, I mean, that's cool for them, but
it ain't helping me.
Oh. Hey, here go my debt. Still right there. No, I get it. I just wanted to pose a question to the group. And I appreciate the feedback. I personally work a lot harder with a lot more jobs because I made life choices about my post-secondary education that are a little bit different, and I'm okay with it.
And I'm going to unpack that. So one thing, somebody asked the question about is Howard and some of these other colleges are private. A lot of the ones in DC are private universities. I think there only is one public college, which is the University of DC. Therefore, every single one that's in DC every other college in DC is private. American, Georgetown, all the other ones. Catholic University, I think, is also in DC. So just wanted to put that out there. Secondly, Jena, you do not know how many times I have thought about, I don't want to say if my college education was worth it, because I know that it was worth it, but what did it get me to where I needed to be as far as financially? Because the goal that they tell us is that you go to college to be able to get a good job. And so what I want to say is, never look at your experience as a part of shame, because you really have done and are doing what a lot of people are choosing to do each and every day. They are saying, I do not want to go to college because it costs too much. I'm going to grind my way out in this economy. I'm going to have multiple jobs. I'm going to do what I got to do. So your experience actually probably is the majority experience, and you just happen to have people who are close to you who went to college.
Right.
But that's because we all were told, like, and this is probably some of what you're speaking to, millennials were told, go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college.
Geriatric millennials.
Okay, definitely geriatric millennials. But it's like, that's what we were told.
Yeah.
And I will be honest, I graduated with a master's degree in May 2010. I got my first full-time job in November 2010. I made $24,000 at 24 years old. I did not leave that job. I made $30,000 when I left that job in 2013. What I know for sure is I have had to work much harder. Like, basically, my master's degree I'm not cashed in yet. Or I feel like I haven't cashed in on it. I have had to work so much harder. Say that again, Kathia.
This became a high value man, but to his
don't do that.
She's trolling.
She is. But the point is that, like, I want us to we need to stop putting colleges on pedestals. We need to call that ish out as it is. If it's an experience for you, your child, whatever, cool. If not, go to community college or don't, and work and make money quicker than I did. Because I have just was able to get some things in place as far as finances. You know what I mean? Like, so my point is, never feel bad.
Yeah.
Anybody on this show, never feel bad that you did not go to college, because trust and believe me, if I had a chance to go back and do this ish again, I would probably choose differently. So yeah.
To be clear, I went and I was kind of good at it, but just life happened, and this is where I'm at. And I'm very grateful for my experiences, and I'm grateful that more than anything, I'm grateful that I have the relationships that I have, because if I didn't meet Kathia, I wouldn't have met y'all, and I met Kathia in a college classroom. So I'm grateful for my experience and my time. And it like, for me, it's like, I don't want to fall into that bucket of people that are like, just be happy that you're here, because I totally get, like, it's tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars for bare minimum standards that you're asking for. But I also know that, like, I would be happy to stay in a dorm with no air, because I didn't have that experience. So for me, it just feels like these kids deserve it. They deserve a positive college experience. Just give these babies what they need. Give these parents that peace of mind when they drop them off and let them go. Like, my baby's okay. If I walk into a dorm room with my child in 9 years, and I don't like the way it looks. We are going home. Period. So don't do that to these families. Don't do that to these kids. The quality of education is unmatched at an HBCU. I think it's a beautiful experience. I was supposed to go to an HBCU.
You better believe it.
I was supposed to be an A&T Aggie, but in WBC. But anyway, I think that I don't want this headline to deter people from sending their children to really good universities for an amazing college experience, because it's definitely something that you will regret if you don't have it. And I'll leave it at that.
And I think the takeaway is you choose your own path. College is not a one size fits all. It's not for everybody. But if you do, Maddie, consider college, consider Spelman. And
I love
it. Because I saw the daddy in the comments talking about how can I convince her to go to a HBCU with stuff like this going on. It's because she needs to consider Spelman.
She doesn't need to be convinced because she still wants to go to Howard, our other alum.
Yes.
But I wanted to say too, because at this point we are parents, and I feel like for us millennials, the college experience with our parents was very hands off.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of the problem too. So like, I encourage the parents, as far as your child going to college, like, honestly, it starts really, really early, you know, and I don't think that college happens to be the way. I'm not one that's like, my child has to go with everything that I know now, but y'all know my child want to be a dentist, so I guess
She's going to school. And not for nothing, Howard got a good dental program, so you never know where she going.
Right. You never know. That's what I'm saying. But she's going to school. But it's like you have to hold your kids' hands and walk them through this entire process as early as you can. They can't sign these financial aid papers by themselves. They can't be out here looking for loans by themselves. They can't be choosing schools by themselves.
Visit these schools, ask questions, take advantage
and
of
start saving.
Yes.
For your children.
Today.
Yesterday.
Like
because when they sit at their table with that bottom line and they're like, how am I going to pay for this? This is where I want to be. That's not a good feeling.
Preach.
And they sitting there 17, 18 years old trying to like make life decisions. Don't do that to your babies.
I feel like I could count all of the semesters I went in financial aid crying. Like, it's absolutely...
I walked out crying.
I mean, you have to be there and protect your children through this process if that's what you want them to do.
For sure.
Nelson said he going to school with Maddie.
My daddy said I went to UCLA, the University at the corner of Lenox Avenue, his alma mater. So
I love it.
That's where I went.
Well, we way over, but we got all passionate. Sorry, we got our last segment. Child.
Y'all know
we start talking about education, child.
The co-hosts are still here, so we still rocking.
Love y'all.
When they start leaving, I be like,
get a drink. Let's keep it moving.
We don't like to end on a bad note, so we are at that Are You That Somebody? And this is for us to shout out dope people doing dope things. And today's Are You That Somebody is...
our very own joggers. Let's get it.
Sister released her first clothing line through the Saya Collective, and y'all, I'm so excited because I have it on. And
I was gonna close with that when you started getting a little excited. I was like, oh my gosh, she has on a sweatsuit.
Yes, y'all, it's super cute. See, y'all can't see, but that wasn't skin. That was a shirt.
You know your husband is on here and he do not play.
See, he about to be in the comments. But no, I absolutely love it. It fits great. There's a few left, so if you're a size small, you should probably grab it before I do. Okay.
And are they true to size? Are they true to size, Jena? The sweatsuits.
I would say yes for my personal fit.
Okay.
It's a very versatile set. I just had on the same pants that Kathia has on with a bodysuit, and it was a good time. I do the sweatshirt with the leggings. I actually had the coral one on earlier, and I was like, I'm not gonna wear this tonight. That's too pluggy.
Always plug your brand, baby.
I know. Well, I don't have to because I have my wifey doing it. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Aw. I'm going to try
Check 'em
not to
out,
cry that
follow.
much in 2022, so I'm practicing. But thank y'all so much.
You're welcome, honey. So yes, SireHer_collective on Instagram, SireCollective.com. Anything else here? So we've been, y'all been rocking with us for a while tonight. But I mean, did we miss anything? Since y'all still here.
Ooh, right. Like
Anything you need to get off your chest.
Yes.
Get it off your chest.
Raven,
in the comments.
Kathia is wearing the tan, there's coral, there's gray, and there is the Tiffany blue. There are 2 sets. One is a crew neck, one is hoodie. The coral and the tan are in a crew neck, and the gray and the blue are in a hoodie. Thanks so much.
All right.
Still got on my shoes.
They're trolling us with what we missed. So we did not miss anything.
We didn't miss anything?
Thank you.
Ben Simmons.
Nelson, why would you even read that out loud? Don't give that no energy.
My glasses almost empty. That's why I read it out loud.
Yes. So
this is a gigantic glass.
I cannot. Let's try it again. Can I call in? No, the phone lines are closed. Okay.
I would like to say rest in peace, Colin Powell. I feel like we don't acknowledge the losses. I think that was some feedback that we got. So this week we lost Colin Powell and somebody from Black Panther, but I can't remember.
Listen, Colin Powell passed. We should acknowledge that he passed.
He passed.
Yes.
Greg Leaks as well. We're big Housewives fans. We would be remiss if we didn't mention longtime husband on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Greg Leaks. He did pass a little while back, and just want to lift that up as well.
Talking about the husbands of Atlanta, y'all going to that party at?
Absolutely not.
that Peter and
when I say whoever made that flyer needs to be fired.
What party? Is it at Peter Restaurant?
So the top of it says Lethea, and then in big letters it says Freedom Party, and then it says in real small letters for Apollo Nida, and it's a picture of Apollo like this, and then behind him is a picture of Peter like this.
No,
and it's like I'm thinking like Peter and Apollo are hosting a party for Nene, like proclaiming her freedom when her husband passed.
Not a welcome home party for Apollo.
I was mortified. I was like, who worded this? And then I read it again. I was like, oh, it's an idiot. Good. Got it.
No good.
It's just Apollo's coming off of parole. And they throwing a party.
I mean, you yelling free him, and today free him, I guess, but I didn't see this flyer.
They can go away from me with dust. Okay? That's how I feel about that party.
Okay. Fix it, Jesus.
Oh man.
But make sure you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville on Saturdays. Still a good time.
Yes.
All right, I think we're done here.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Thank you so much.
Today, thank y'all so much for coming back. We missed y'all. Okay.
We did.
Let's do it again in 2 weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow, share. Thank y'all so much for y'all support, and have a good night.
Bye.